Okaeri nasaimase, Goshuzin-sama.
Maid cafes. If you watch anime at all, you know what maid cafes are. I don't know why it's universal knowledge, but it is. They're a magical kind of place that I love to visit every time I go to Japan, and also England. And yeah, you heard me right, I'm just as surprised as you are that there is a maid cafe here in England. You know, the country where it only has 3 types of weather: raining, been raining, about to rain. But somewhere in the gloomy city of Manchester, my friend who lives local there showed me his little oasis of a cute little maid cafe. And let me just say, I definitely behaved myself, alright?
You missed.
However, reality is kinda cruel. Especially since the concept of maid cafes are not all that common in the world. Not a lot of people have the chance to ever go. Most could only dream of going to a maid cafe. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Or at least not forever. For now, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to dream. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 maid cafe anime that you could watch in the meantime. Watashi wa Frank desu. Your maid who will be serving you today. And let's get into it.
Anime Club.
Let's start by asking ourselves, what even is a maid cafe anime? Because I'll be honest with you, I just made this up. You see, maid cafes are usually a single episode kind of special where characters would partake in just a little temporary event. So it's quite rare that an entire anime focuses on just the maid cafe theme itself. But since I'm chronically online, I happen to know several anime out there that are worth watching for you. If you're unfamiliar with a maid cafe even is, it's kind of like a hostess bar, but for otakus. Found mainly in Akihabara, Japan, where they originated from, they make their patrons feel extra special. They almost recreate the feeling of you walking into your own personal home, with generic examples being Victorian era inspired themes. Waitresses dressed in cosplay, similar to what I'm wearing here, will be your own personal servant, serving you drinks, food, and entertainment.
お待たせしました。
すごい。
ありがとうございます。
怖いです。
かわいい、よかった。
In an effort to stand out and attract more customers, maid cafes have sort of evolved to include like more gimmicks, like a Neko cafe where they would have more ears. Or this one maid cafe that I went to that was more Halloween themed. The menu is usually overpriced food packed with MSG, but you're mainly paying to be pampered anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You're there for the vibes. So the vibe of this maid cafe anime genre that I made up is meant to be a very relaxing and happy kind of vibe. Comfy, if you will. Anime that shows you the cozy lifestyle of the employees and their day-to-day lives. All 5 of the maid cafe anime I'm going to be showing you today revolves around some form of comedy. Some are a bit more wholesome than others, some are a bit less wholesome than others. But they all capture the spirit of a maid cafe at the end of the day. So let's dive in and see them, shall we? The first maid cafe I'm going to open up with here is Blend S, which you can find on Crunchyroll and Netflix. Even though in this video I made sure that my recommendations here are diverse to cater everyone's different tastes, because we all have different tastes at the end of the day, don't we? But I wanted to start with Blend S because I consider this to be a very high quality, set the standard kind of maid cafe where I believe anyone could universally enjoy it. It really is just that good. Even if you have not seen it just yet, you've probably seen the opening. Subscribe. Seriously. I'm just saying, fellas, if you subscribe, I promise to keep delivering high quality videos for you, just like this one. Thanks, and let's just continue with the video, shall we? In Blend S, we follow a girl called Maika, who strives to be independent so she can study abroad. But in order to be independent, she needs a job, and she struggles to get one because she naturally has a resting bitch face, despite having an otherwise cheerful disposition. That is until she's lucky enough to run into Café Stilla, where she's able to play to her strengths. This particular cafe is special in the sense that all the employees would act out this sort of character to attract customers who like these sort of niche personalities. For example, one of them plays the role of a tsundere, who pretends that she doesn't actually secretly love the customers. Maika, who already has a very natural menacing kind of aura to her, plays the role of a sadist, talking down to the customers. And this one here acts as a sweet little sister who treats customers as if they're an older sibling who are returning home, and she's just excited to see them. Despite the personalities I just listed, those are all just an act that they put on for work. That little sister I mentioned, by the way, is the oldest one there, as a college student, who will literally fight people over magical girl figurines. The manager who works there is an anime-addicted Italian who's basically just living my own personal dream of moving to Japan. And the cook is this cool-headed, mysterious guy. There's loads of characters, but that's for you to enjoy experiencing. I will say the show gets a little suggestive at times, but it's pretty mild and it's used in very tasteful jokes in my opinion. I think it's a very safe and easy recommend for anyone.
Wow! Japanese girl! Kurokami button! Konnichiwa! I've never seen such beautiful black hair.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sadistic!
Now it's time for a maid cafe that really kicks things up a notch.
You are my cutie pie, heart from kissy kissy kiss. Come to my never-ending dream, I'll let you escape. I'll give you all my love, killer, killer, yeah. Fall in your head, do your temperamental. Now is the time, close your eyes. 3, 2, 1, catch up with me. Sending up bunches of super smooches. Have a good night now.
Nagami is an innocent girl who has big dreams of working as a maid, so she moves to Akihabara to work for a maid cafe called Ton Takoton. Ton Takoton. You know, it's a pig. It's a pig theme. They work as pigs. And there's a panda in the corner. Don't worry about the panda. It turns out Akihabara is run by 2 organizations where every maid cafe has to be affiliated to one or the other and pay production fees. Nagami joins the maid cafe that happens to be at the very bottom of the stack. All of this is a recipe for disaster, create very violent rivalries between all the cafes. But Nagami is determined. She believes deep down in her heart that everyone else deep down in their hearts just wants to be a cute maid. No one wants to kill each other. We all just want to serve our masters. You see, whenever people ask me for a recommendation for a lesser known hidden gem of an anime, I love showing them Akiba Maid War. I like to cope that it didn't get enough recognition because of the timing of its release. It was fall of 2022. Big anime like Chainsaw Man, Spy Family, and Boku no Hero Academia were all releasing at the time. Mob Psycho, you name it. All these mainstream anime, and Akiba Maid War was just flying right underneath the radar. A lot of people missed out on this hidden gem. But I freaking love this anime to bits, man. It's pretty much a parody of old school gangster movies, but you know, with a maid cafe kind of twist to it. It's absolutely unhinged, but still down to earth enough that you could get attached to these characters. The Russian voice actress for this girl here is absolutely adorable.
That was when I discovered the world of maid cafes and aspired to become a maid myself.
This cute version is the real through me.
The manager who works there is an absolute freak, and without spoiling the ending, I could vouch that it left me in tears, man. So if I had to cry, so should you. Just a short 12 episodes long, subbed or dubbed, give it a try. Now to bring things back to the innocent and the wholesome with, is the order a rabbit? I don't know, is it? Another short 12 episodes on Crunchyroll, subbed, but no English dub. The setting is in what looks like a romanticized version of Paris. I emphasize romanticized Paris because I've been to real Paris, and it is nowhere near as clean as happy as this. Where's all the yelling? Where's all the trains that are breaking down? We don't need to be nitpicky though, because this is meant to be a comfort anime. The vibes are meant to be comfy and heartwarming, not historically accurate. And besides, I don't think that there's a single point in the show where they mention that it is Paris. It just kind of looks like it, you know what I mean? We follow a group of young girls who work part-time in a maid cafe as they go on silly little adventures. There's no deep plot to follow, there's no in-depth character arcs, and that's the strength of the show. It's meant to be easy to follow, as most plot lines only last for several minutes at a time before the girls go on to their next silly adventure. When I say silly adventure, I mean things like finding the right shade of pink fabric to make their new uniforms, and watching an anime together to help prepare their friend cosplay a certain character just a little bit better for an upcoming cafe collaboration, or sneaking into their friend's school to surprise them.
ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。ごきげんよう。よし、いい感じだぞ。さあ。
This is an anime that I found a long time ago in 2014 when it first aired, and I just rewatched it recently out of nostalgia. You see, I work a lot of hours, usually in like 24-hour shifts, and in the past week I've been doing these 24-hour shifts pretty much every other day, and it gets a little exhausting if I'm being honest. And by the way, that's not me complaining. I do get a little bit of sleep, maybe like 5 hours during that 24-hour shift, And when I'm trying to fall asleep, I downloaded Is the Order a Rabbit. It was really relaxing and just what I needed at the end of an exhausting day. It reminded me of happier times, and that's why I thought I would include it in this recommendations, because hopefully you might feel the same. Class president is a maid! No way!
こんなのもし学校のやつらに見られたら。
わお。こりゃびっくり。会長だ。
Yes way. This is a shoujo romance focused type anime here. Our main character Misaki here comes from a very poor family and decides to enroll in a very male predominant kind of school who only just started recently allowing girls in, and through sheer hard work, honesty, and diligence, she becomes the first ever student council president. She takes her job very seriously in an effort to make the school a much better life for all the girls attending. And at the end of the day, after she's done dedicating everything to that school, she goes to work at a maid cafe for a bit of extra money to help her family. It's really admirable. In terms of maid cafe anime, I think this is actually a little bit of a stretch to include this in this video, because most of the time it's kind of set in school. But I'm including it anyways because, I mean, like, she works in a maid cafe throughout the whole show, so... Also, I made up this genre, I get to make up the rules too. Deal with it. You see, Misaki is a little embarrassed about the idea of working as a maid at first, but with the help of a cute love interest, Usui, she kind of warms up to the idea and starts working harder as a maid. And I also find it entertaining that Misaki is giving free rent a run for her money in terms of, I wonder if he's into me. Because that boy, Usui, would literally corner this person in the hallway and be like, I just shat my pants. Can I get in yours? And she just doesn't get the hint. And now for my last recommendation. I saved this one for last because it's in a more adult focused anime. And also my mom told me off in the last video for saying the word sex. Since this is an ecchi focused anime, I will be commenting on the attractiveness of the characters. So out of courtesy for my family, and also anybody else who's watching this in a public space and don't want any weird looks, I'm giving you a chance to click out this video now. To anyone heading off here, thanks for watching, and I hope I helped you find something good to watch today. And now for those who stayed. You sick freaks. I like you. The Café, Terrace, and its goddesses is more than just an ecchi anime, otherwise I wouldn't include it. I included it because it's also a maid cafe anime. No, I'm kidding. You see, I'm actually here to get to know the characters and all their various personalities. A sweet old woman, Sachiko, likes to run her cafe where she treats her customers as if they were family. She would also spend time with her grandson in that cafe, showing him the ropes in hopes one day that he could run the cafe. But her grandson Hayato just doesn't get the vibe, and only sees the very low profits that the cafe brings in. Believing he is in the right, he leaves for Tokyo and studies for 3 years in finance to prove her wrong, only to find out that she passes away during that time. He returns to the cafe, intending to tear it down and turn it into a more profitable parking lot, only to his surprise to find several women living there. Hayato learns that these are the women who spent the last few years of his grandmother's life together, and his grandma considered these women to be family, and basically just let them stay for free after she passed. After getting to know the girls, and also the cafe that his grandmother loved, Hayato changes his mind about tearing that down for a parking lot, and decides to start running the cafe, in hopes of connecting to his grandma that he missed out on. The premise had me in tears, man. I could really appreciate how the main character Hayato is a very prideful and stubborn person, but will still humble himself to learn new things in the effort of running the cafe more successfully, only to be reminded that this is still an ecchi anime. Hayato will do one good thing, for example, and one of the girls will just flash her crotch, as if it was some kind of reward. You really think us guys are that easy? You really think that you could just give us treats as if we're some kind of dog? The main cast of women are all gorgeous, and come in all different kinds of flavors. I really like this emo girl the most. She plays music and makes some good coffee. What more can a man ask for? There's also a tsundere type of character who will learn how to cook your favorite meals, the muscles for brains girl, the one who can't handle her drink, and the normal and sensible one when you get tired of all the exaggerated personalities.
おばあちゃんのお店を再開するって言うから、どれだけの覚悟かと思ったけど、がっかりよ。隼人君みたいなのが店長じゃ、1年も経たずにまた閉店ね。
Every episode is full of eye candy and suggestive scenarios. And yet, it's still rated PG-13. There is not a single uncensored nipple throughout the whole thing. I know, because I double checked when I was making this video. I don't really mind though, because if I really wanted to see the real deal, I would just watch now wouldn't I? The reason why I enjoy the ecchi of this anime is because it's still a maid cafe at the end of the day, where it's a very cozy, comfortable type of anime, but this time we have very attractive characters to look at. If you think that sounds right up your alley, then give the Café Terrace and his goddesses a try. About 24 episodes in total on Crunchyroll, subbed, but it's only dubbed in Spanish and German. No English dub, by the way. Can I ask you a question, dear viewer? I'm rather new to this YouTube business, you see. So, by the off chance, if you check out any anime I recommended you today in this video, and if you ended up liking it or disliking it, can you remember to come back to this video and comment how you found it? It really helps me in the future recommend things better. Because right now, I'm recommending things that I'm personally interested in, but this is called Frank's Anime Club because I want to be a good host, and I want to make everyone feel welcome. I want to make sure that there's a bit of anime for everybody. So your feedback on anything, by the way, is greatly appreciated. That is all optional though, but you know what's not optional? Liking and subscribing, because I'll know I'm watching you.